In this video, we're going to find the slope of two lines from a graph. Let's take a look at our two lines. There you can see we have lines A and B, and let's get into it and find the slope of line A. So the slope equation we want to use is that slope is equal to the change in y divided by the change in x. So we can find those values right from this graph. I always like to pick a point right on the y-intercept as long as it cleanly goes through a grid point, and this one does. It goes through the point 0, 4. And then I'm going to look to the right and find another place, and I see this point right here. You can pick different points. There isn't just one set of points that you can use, but just be careful that it goes directly through the intersection in the grid. So this would have been a good point up here as well. From there, we just want to measure the change in y and the change in x so that we can fill it into that formula. So here is our change in y, and it goes up. And then here is the change in x. The change in x will always go over and be positive. The change in y in this case is a positive 2 because we go up 2 units. So let's note that. The change in x goes over 1, 2, 3, 4 units. So we write 4 there. Then we transfer it to our equation. The change in y was 2. The change in x was 4. And then we simplify that fraction. 2 over 4 is the same as 1/2. And that is our slope for line A. That's all there is to it. Slope equals 1/2. Let's move on to line B. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to find that point where we cross the y-axis. There it is. And then I'm going to look for other points to the right where it goes clearly through the intersection. Here's one right here. There are lots of them for this particular line. So now we note that we have to go down to get to the point to the right. We start with the point on the left, and we're moving toward the point on the right. We have to go down and then over. So down means negative. So that would be -2 in this case, 2 units. We have to go 2 to the right. That's a +2. So now we set up our ratio for line B. Change in y, that's the up and the down, that's -2, over the change in x, +2. We simplify that. 2 over 2 is 1, but we have this negative sign, so that becomes -1 for our answer. So let's clear that selection and move on to your practice questions. And there are 2 more lines, line A and line B. So use that same approach. Find the 2 points that clearly go through intersections, and then count off the change in y and the change in x, and set up your fraction and simplify it. At this point, you could pause the video and then continue the video when you're ready with your answers to see the answers on the screen. Go ahead and pause the video right now. Okay, the answers are the slope of line A is 2, +2, and the slope of line B is +1. If you didn't get the correct answers, go back and rewatch the video and try to follow the procedures exactly the same and then redo the problem.